Good morning, guys. I don't know if you can hear me just as of yet. Those who have been watching the show will know that I am in the office next to the office that I normally stream in. Sorry about my lisp. I got these Invisalign in like I did before. But yeah, this is the main office. Obviously, I don't normally stream in the main office because we got all of our colleagues coming in. We got obviously the sales killers are going to be here in about 10 minutes, but I thought I would stream from here first since this is where my day starts. And then when we stream, we're going to move next door. Before I get into it, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Thanks to all the subscribers so far. I think we had like another 50 yesterday, which is sick. Really happy with that. And yeah, make sure you follow me on Instagram. A lot of content that I actually put up on here or on Instagram that's specific and they don't go over, especially like motivational content. So make sure you go over to Instagram and follow me, James Lake Show. Anas Desoki, welcome salam. I hope you're good, Anas. And yeah, today has got a very fun episode. It's going to be a good episode because yesterday I showed you guys some very important stuff on how to understand I'm going to pull these retainers out in a second. I'm going to show you guys exactly how more fundamental elements of business work. Obviously, I showed you yesterday how to work out the financial position at any one time of your company to understand, has your profit gone up? Has it gone down? Like, what's like a health check of the business? That's what we showed you yesterday. And we had a lot of comments. So thank you everyone who liked and find that helpful. But today I'm going to show you fundamentals. I'm going to get back into selling more because it's something that you guys need to understand more, especially if you're trying to start a business. Like, selling is the most important thing. We're going to go next door in a second and go to my office when people start arriving. And I'm also going to talk about my first major business failure. Yeah, so I think that's going to be really cool. I have a coffee coming now, and I can't drink this with my retainer in, so I'm going to move in. Thanks, Beaksy.
No worries.
Right, so guys, obviously those who have been following the business will know that I have a distribution business in the UK that has about 42 people. And we started that 14 years ago, and about 3 years ago, I set up out here along with my colleagues and business partners. And we're basically doing the same thing in Europe. And after 3 years, it's finally starting to make money. And after burning 600,000, it's now at a level of turning around 200,000 per month. Yo, what's going on, Jeffrey? How you doing?
Good morning.
And that's Jeffrey. We met at the boxing gym like 2.5 years ago, was it? Or 2 years ago?
2 years.
And then we worked together about a year after that.
Yeah.
Amazing. Everything happens for a reason, brother, eh? Right, I'm going to go do this stream. I'll catch you guys shortly. Cheers, brother. It's going to be a good day. Walaikum salam, Arab. Thanks for coming in. Right, we got 4 people, 3 likes. I like these numbers, but we're going to get a lot of people in today. Yesterday was nearly a record. I think we had like 40 people. The record was Sunday. Sunday, we had 65 people in the chat. But Sunday, obviously, it was a little bit of a later stream. And it's Sunday. Everyone's not working. But yeah, we are going to talk some very important stuff today, especially for new entrepreneurs who are trying to get ahead. A lot of people don't understand business fundamentals. And they think business fundamentals are more like business studies fundamentals, which is really not the case. Business studies teaches you how to technically talk about business terminology, talks to you about how to, but really someone who goes through business studies is not going to be a businessman. More likely an accountant, to be honest with you. It requires, like I said to you yesterday, it does require you to be a little bit crazy to be good at business, because all of the metrics are always going to tell you it's going to fail. That's not possible. You have to be a visionary, and visionaries aren't working with rationale. Unless you're starting a small business, but we're not here to start small businesses. We're here to do some madness. That's what we're doing. Right. We're keeping this board. The board is an important part of this new setup. I'm going to take these retainers out 1 second, guys. Right. Do you know what I'm going to talk about first, actually? I'm going to talk about my business going bust. The first serious time where I was like really up against it. And do you know what? Like, I think when you have like these trials and tribulations, like big trials and tribulations, they shape you, they make you. Like, these things have been the most valuable lessons that I've ever understood. And I'm going to show you in a second. And actually, when I go into my business, When I look back on it in retrospect, I think I could have made it work. I actually think that I didn't have enough patience and I tried to give up after 10 months because I hadn't made profit. But there was a reason for that. The way I understood things, I expected there to be profit by that point, and because it wasn't there, I didn't want to borrow money. Hey, before we get into it, I'm going to actually go into the I didn't want to borrow more money because I couldn't see light at the end of the tunnel. It's easier for me to loan my company money after 2 years of loaning money because I have the money to loan it. Yeah, it's taken out of my savings, but ultimately, it doesn't matter. I don't owe it to anyone. Interest isn't going to be biting me. None of that stuff. So, like, it might not be ideal, but back then it was like my back was already against the wall, and then I had to be like, but yeah, I just didn't see business that way. I thought it hadn't worked for a year. It's probably not going to work. Oh, look at this, guys. Do you remember I told you that I went to Amsterdam? We're going to get into all the business stuff. I know I've been digressing for like 5 minutes here, but we will get into it. We started the stream early today, so it doesn't matter too much, I don't think. But I said I went to that pop-up shop in Amsterdam. And when I went there, it was just a store full of rubber ducks. And it had really cool spotlighting, so they all glue up. And I just had my bathroom done. And I wanted to get some cool rubber ducks. And those who actually know about my first company that I'd had 15 years ago, my logo was a rubber duck because we sold yellow ducks. Sorry, we sold bathrooms. And my logo was a yellow duck. And the reason the logo was a yellow duck is because my granddad had a bathroom business back in the 70s. And he had a yellow duck. And I wanted to be like my granddad. Or 70s and 80s. And I wanted to be like my granddad. And then my granddad sold that business. And then when I was 14 or 15, I did work experience of that business. And then for the person who had bought it. And then I worked Sundays selling bathrooms. And that's how I started understanding bathrooms. But then I got fired from that job probably when I was like 16 or 17. And then I went to work at Dreams, the bed shop. And Dreams, the bed shop was where I learned how to be a killer salesman. It was sick. But anyway, I digressed. I got a purple duck because my company here is purple. And I want to and I always say, anytime I see something purple, I buy it. It's a good sign. I got purple here, purple little toy on my desk. Even my AirPods bag is purple. And obviously my Lamborghini's purple. This duck that I found is purple. So I'm going to bring the yellow ducks back to my house in Bristol. I'm going to put this on the board table in Europe. I think it's a very cute addition. Where are you from, David? I am from Bristol, UK, but I'm actually here in Holland right now. Beaksy, we got the duck here. We're going to bring it in. It's so nice. Purple duck there. And then we can put it next to Tom. Guys who have been checking in recently and have been watching the daily streams are going to know that we've been recording our data since we started this business. Before, what it was is we just had a desk and a phone and a computer, nothing else. No one knew who we were. No orders were coming through. And then what happened? We kept calling, like 30, 40 calls a day, nonstop. And then we started out in the October 2021. And then by the January of 2022, we start recording data. 2023, sorry. We started in October 2022, 2021. 2022, sorry. Right, I'm going crazy. October 2022, which is 3 years ago. And then by January of 2023, we do 20 grand. January 2024, we're doing plus 60 grand. And then this month, we've just done like 200 in the month of July. So crazy. But it would have been very easy to quit. And like, imagine this, we're paying 30K a month for October. Obviously, these aren't on the board, but you could just got to imagine it. September, October, November, December. And only then, even after paying 6 staff and stuff, we start to say a little bit of sales, but that's not profit. That's just sales. It's like a little slither of profit there. So easy to quit, guys. Business is a bunch of like mechanisms set to make you quit. But if you don't quit, you can get to places where you're thinking like, what the hell? I didn't know this was possible. Yeah, purple is my main color, Arab. Yeah, it's a cool color. Actually, looks like you got some purple in your display picture, brother. Great choice. 12 people in here, only 7 likes. Let's bring those numbers up. I've got the board behind me. So the board, I'm going to be able to do a little bit more like classroom talking like I was yesterday. I'm really going to help you guys with the fundamentals because a lot of you guys need it. I actually think that I have a very good understanding of business basics. I'm not some like academic type person, but I understand business better than most. And because of that, if I can teach you guys how to see my perspective, then yeah, you're gonna do good. Right. So what is it you sell again? I'm pretty new here. I sell tech. I'm an IT distributor. I sell phones, computers, keyboards, cases, cables, everything surrounding tech. And I got a relatively big business in the UK. We do about £12 million a year, and we do about 2.5, £3 million a year out here. But soon, this business, I mean, even this year, those numbers that I'm talking about are gonna just be left in the wayside. So, yeah, we're on an exciting journey. And actually, what I want to do with this whole thing is I want to check in each day, and I want to be able to share what I learn from business to you guys, and yeah, continue to do this. I think that it would be a wasted opportunity for me to not diarize what I'm doing. Like I say, I'm managing 50 staff over multiple language in two different countries, water separating us. Like, takes a lot. It takes a lot, and I don't mean it takes a lot as in like not anyone can do it. I mean it takes a lot. It takes a lot out of you. Like, it really. I'm 35, but I tell you what, I think that you could add 20 years onto my age. I only had a real like. There's certain things I don't have much experience with. I don't have much like corporate experience because I never really worked like corporate jobs. I worked some small retail jobs in kind of corporate organizations. One was kind of corporate, one not so much. Um, so I don't really have any life experience where some people would have more life experience in like corporate. But in terms of, I haven't really had a boss since I've been like 20 years old, and I've been like very successful, and I've had like crazy ups and downs. I've been sued. I've had businesses go bankrupt. I've had like friends betray me, where I've had someone steal money out of my company and then the business folds up. Like, I have had madness. And like by 23 years old, I was a millionaire, and then by 26, it's all withered away to less than nothing. And I'm there like, oh, was that just lucky? Am I dumb? Like, and then like after a few more years, I realized like, no, hang on, anyone can make money. It's just this like ebb and flow of life. And if you're not in the water with a surfboard, then how on earth are you ever going to ride a wave? And that's really what happens is you have a load of people who are moaning about what they never had. And they're like, oh, oh, so lucky for you. And then you got a load of other people who have been in the water who are like, oh, business is some hard thing and it's not for everyone. And like, really, it's a lie from both sides because anyone can win in business. You just got to be in the water and be up for dealing with the BS. And yeah, it's not some profoundly smart thing to be in business. It's just an attitude of don't quit and you learn. Really, the most successful business people mostly are the people who didn't go to school that much because they didn't get opportunity to be told what wasn't possible. Like, if you could tell an entrepreneur from someone who's not an entrepreneur because they're going to tell you why things won't work. Oh, that's competitive. Oh, I wish I'd thought of that. Bro, the only thing stopping me from starting a business that someone else is doing is because I don't want to step on that person's toes. But I'll be like, that's a good idea. I'd kill that idea. But other people, oh man, I wish I'd have thought of that. I have had so many people have watched the stream. I know I've said this a few times. Is I had so many times when I would like go to the pub when I was younger, when I would come and meet up from everyone who'd been at school, and they'd be like, "Oh, I heard you're doing well," and I was like, "Yeah, yeah, I'm doing good." They go, "Oh man, I wish I'd thought of that." And I'm like, "What? Selling on eBay? You can't sell on eBay." And I was selling on eBay like after my main job, so there's just no excuse. So many ups and downs. Yeah, so many ups and downs. Right. So I'll talk about my first business going bust because what happened, and this is really where I didn't really understand life. I was full of arrogance because I'd had a series of different bosses who were all good. Like, all of us are strong and weak in certain areas. And it's kind of a dumbass who will look at someone and be like, oh, they're dumb. Because no, there is certainly areas in which they're dumber than me, but there's certain areas in which they're smarter than me, and they would look back and think I'm dumb. So I should never ever judge them. And when you understand that, you realize we're all these intricate jigsaw pieces. And and yeah, but anyway, at that point, I would look at my managers and think like, oh, I knew everything they didn't, and the reason they didn't get these sales, and I would do this, and I would do that. And it did not take very long um, until an opportunity presented itself. So I'd been working in Dreams for about 10 years, and Dreams have been my best job in my life up until that point. And it still is my best job for an employer. And the reason it was my best job for an employer is because it was my first bona fide sales job. H, Wakem Salam Warahmatullahi, sorry, Salam Alaikum Warahmatullahi Wabarakatuh. Thanks, H. Wakem Salam. I hope you're good. Yeah, so I've been working there 10 months. And the reason liked it so much is I got paid like 13 and a half grand a year or 14 grand a year. But after my commission, I was earning like 30,000 a year. So I was literally like more than doubling my salary. So it almost felt like I was a business owner because for the first time in like ever, my performance would directly increase how much I would earn. And like literally amongst doing that, I was becoming one of the best salespeople in the company. Like we were doing so good. Me and my friend Rob actually in there, like, and a guy from another branch who's also a friend from school was killing it. But we were like the young guys, full of hunger, crazy. And anyway, after 10 months, an opportunity came up, and this opportunity came up to go and sell bathrooms in Swindon. And Swindon was about an hour away, but like I was desperate to get into business. The whole time I've been in this job, just chomping at the bit, looking for a way to go make money. So I took this opportunity on, and I borrowed 33,000 to go do it. And where I went over, it was an hour away from home, and to run the business, I needed to be working like 10-hour days, 11-hour days, but I didn't want to pay myself much money. I paid myself under the national insurance tax limit, which is like 12 grand a year. Entrepreneurs who have businesses to avoid tax are going to know. I don't actually do that anymore, but a lot of business owners do to try and yeah, 33 grand, crazy. It was, which is crazy, right? Because that was an insane loan, and it took me years to pay that back. And my actual business that's been wildly successful was a way smaller loan. I didn't, and the reason it was smaller is because I couldn't afford to buy any more off to start this up. So I went back to like market trading. But yeah, it is, bro. It was crazy. So I borrowed that in 2006, and it wasn't paid off till 2011, and the business went bust in 2007. So I had 4 years of debt, but luckily, yeah, the business started to do well. It gave me the opportunity. But yeah, so I went up there thinking that I knew everything that I didn't. We fitted out a bathroom showroom. I got support from local suppliers. Sorry, like English suppliers, not local. They weren't from the same town, and we set out. And I understood profit margins and stuff, of course, and I've been buying and selling since I was 11 years old, and I've been buying and selling successfully on eBay for years and years. Like I was making up to £200 a week when I was at school. But when it came to this, there were so many costs associated with the business. I wasn't keeping my finger on the pulse enough, and I was staying way too in sales. And all I was thinking is sell, 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 sell. And because I didn't understand the the accumulative costs associated with selling, I would sell too cheap to just get the deal, but that would actually lose me money when it's getting out the door. Let's say I would only make 20% on it. That was good for my sanity because I turned over a deal and we did 2 grand and we made, say, £400 gross profit. But the fact of the matter is, I couldn't get 2 grand's worth of kit in and out the building and get it delivered to them and make money with that £400. I would lose money. So it became this kind of short term gratification where I was doing stuff for my own sanity. And I wasn't really thinking about, is this going to work? And if I went back now, the way I would actually do it is, and it would be the same way that I run this business, and we can link this into the business fundamentals, is a lot of people are hyper focused with their how much they sell, but you're not even looking at, are you making profit? You're not making profit. What I look at is I look at how much money does it cost me to keep this building open a day. So if I look at my company as a group, it costs me, well, around this month, 230,000 I have to pay in salaries, warehousing costs. Like, we got 50 people, all different levels of employees, multiple premises, apartments for people who live out here on the continent. So crazy amount of costs associated. So the way that I do it is I don't even take any, never mind at the sales. We do not look at the sales. I only calculate the gross profit, because if the gross profit is the only thing that's going to add or contribute to bringing down my break even, then why on earth am I looking at anything else? But anyway, I came from a retail sales environment, and where I've just gone onto the shop floor, I'm just like, right, sell, 2 grand deal. Yeah. But hang on, that 2 grand deal makes 400 quid. We got a van lease. We got a warehouse. We've got damages because bathrooms are pottery. Things get broken. You got to replace it. Can't make money. I don't want to be honest with myself and lose the deal. So I'm getting desperate. Listen, and that's another business fundamental, guys. You cannot be acting out desperate. Not even if you need money. Everything needs to be cool. Everything needs to be in God's plan. Another reason why, like, if you're religious, you're going to find it very, very valuable, because no, it's God's plan. He wants me to not have this right now. But if you're not believing that it's subject to any higher power, you're just, well, I must be crap. And I needed that sale, and you get desperate. Never get desperate. Understand that even if you're not religious, that there's a deep, intricate plan at play. Have you ever seen it where you think about someone and then, oh, they contact you? Or where you desperately need that last day of the month to work out, and then somehow, out of some miracle, bang, mashallah, it works out. I know that even non-religious people are seeing that same stuff. You thought about that girl, she texted you, blah, 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 whatever it is. Okay. So you know that that stuff works. Yeah. Mad. Mad, mad, mad. I think that what we got here? We're gonna read the chat. I'm happy that I don't mind to look for a podcast whilst I do my morning workouts anymore. Here, listening to you in the mornings daily. Thanks. Oh, I'm glad, H. Good to have you. Hey, assalamu alaikum, James. Welcome, salam. Hey, I hope you're good. 17 people in here, 10 likes. And we're gonna bring it. This is gonna be our record because we only just started now when we're actually scheduled to. Guys who just joined the chat, we are talking about business fundamentals. I'm talking about when I was 19 years old, I had a business go bankrupt on me and it went into liquidation. Crazy stressful. It was a mad situation. At the moment, I'm just talking about why it went wrong. And the reasons why it went wrong is I'd come out of a sales situation. And the sales situation where I was working at Dreams PLC, the bed shop, a lot of you guys know it. It's a multinational. Yeah. Nationwide, is that right? I think it's nationwide. Multinational means multi-nations, right? So it's not multi-nations, it's nationwide. So it's Dreams all over in England. Really good. They made me a killer. The reason they made me a killer as well, not to digress too much, guys, is we measured every single metric. So every single person that comes in the store, they're measured. And then if you speak to the person, they're measuring. So they know who the best person for converting is, who the best person for getting the highest ATV is. And what's an ATV? ATV is an average transaction value. So they would say, right, you got 5 staff here, and no one's currently engaged with the customer. They just see a customer come in. They will look and they'll be like, right, James or Rob, like my colleague, we were both absolutely sick. They were like, right, James or Rob, you go speak to the customer, and they would prioritize the person who was most likely going to get the most money from this customer. That's how crazy the metrics was. So it was like a hyper capitalist environment, which created crazy salespeople. Because if you didn't close at a high enough rate, you wouldn't get offers to the customers fast enough, which meant you wouldn't earn. And if you didn't get them to buy pillows, headboards, then also they wouldn't want you selling because they want the person who's going to maximize. So if on average you went and spoke to a customer, they spent 200, but on average I went to a customer, they spent 500, then they will always make me go do it. And yeah, isn't that crazy? So it literally carved killers. But the problem was I never knew the margins. We never told anything. We were just sold, sell, 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 sell. And you can work with this discount. And instead of understanding the maths of the bathroom business, I would just make deals. And I never, in that 10 months, it's embarrassing, really. I never sat down to understand how much every pound's worth of bathroom equipment cost from point of transaction to delivery, because there'll be a tapered cost on that pound. I never worked out. But anyway, the fundamentals, obviously, business and life is a load of lessons. I didn't go to university. I failed college. I only got 2 GCSEs at school, business and art. I literally failed everything else. I got a U in English. I got a D in maths. But when I went to here and made all these mistakes, this was my university education, because I know a lot of people have like 30 to 50,000 pound debt from university. I had 33,000 debt from this, and I got it paid back in 4 years. And I got to say, I think I know a lot more about business than any of the people who were taught business at business studies. How do you deal with stress in general? Usually, I'm very, very good at dealing with stress. I'm good at chilling, but at night I get night sweats, so I can't get around that for some reason. I literally at night drench in sweat. It's crazy. Arab, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala always comes through. Yeah, always. But if you quit, he doesn't. So you can't quit. Just have faith. And like, even if you're not a Muslim, even if you're not a Christian, it's just have faith. Right. So then I think at a certain point in my bathroom business, the reason I did bathrooms is my dad was in bathrooms and I wanted to do bathrooms to be like my dad. And my granddad was in bathrooms. So it was like, I want to be like the men in my family. But I started out in 18. The business, yeah, failed on grand proportion. And like, not only I had 33,000 in personal debt, like suppliers ended up losing money, because what it was is I was borrowing money off of suppliers. They supply the kit and then you pay 30 days later when you get paid. And yeah, it all tumbled. It was a shameful time, man, because I really thought I was the smartest person. And I went bankrupt, and I had to go with my tail back between my legs to my family. And I think they were all like even when I said I want to do another business, like, you need to look at another job. And like, I think people kind of lose faith. But they hadn't really. I don't think they really understood business like that. They'd been in business, but they hadn't seen the flows of business. Like as crazy as it sounds now, I think I have more experience than even some of my own family because I started out in a retail business, and then I become a millionaire from my retail business, and then the retail business faded out from the Chinese competition, and then I became a millionaire again from distribution. And then we start out here in Europe, and then after 3 years, bang, this happens again. And like, so I kind of realized that a lot of what I had put on mental competence is not really that. The mental competence in business is not really your smarts so much as your ability to learn and not quit. You need to learn because I couldn't just repeat that business venture that I messed up when I was 18 and expect it to work. It's not going to happen. So I needed to learn. I needed to recalibrate how I was going to measure profit and all that kind of stuff. And then even though my retail business was still retail, I would just look, I would know every single, like if it was this going out the door, I would know £1.12. I knew it to the penny. Even after like I'd put the stamp on there, or I'd put the Jiffy bag, which cost me like 14p. I knew it to the penny. 100 of those going out, that's £112. You got 50 of those coming out, that's 75. Let's say it's a £1.50 profit per piece. And I knew it to the penny, no joke. You can't have guesswork. My first business went bust because of guesswork. Even if the results are bad, you have to show them to yourself. Do you ever know when you got bad news, you're like, oh, I don't want to see it. You have a text message come through from someone. It's coward, guys. Always see them, always look at them. The emails, the numbers, don't shy away from it because the real depression is hiding from your problems. If you can deal with the stress and you can stand in the fire right there, it'll work. Oh, can I see 16K ROAS? This is, rose gold chocolate dial. I got it in Amsterdam like last year. You know, they're always out of stock. I was walking past, they had it in the window. I was like, oh, you got stock? And then the guy's like, there was a guy, look, he goes, yeah, you got stock. We've had this one for a week. And I was like, I don't know. I kind of realized because no one had bought it, I didn't want it. And then this geezer comes up and he starts looking at it. And I was like, oh, hang on. Actually, he's looking at it first. You can't choose yet. Like I almost had first dibs because I just asked about it. And then I like looked at Beak, who I was with next door, and we were there. I was like, actually, yeah, I'm going to get it. Like, you know, FOMO. And actually, we're talking about selling. That's another thing that I used to do before. And this is a sick trick. If you and your bros are ever like, me and my mate, Shiz, if you guys have watched The Brown-Ups is the show that we are working last summer where we do car boots every weekend, showing you guys how to make money. Now, we would do the same thing. Shiz would come up and pretend to be a customer interested in the same thing that the customer that I was dealing with was interested in. And then it forces a pressure on them because they're worried about missing out. Like a lot of everything, a lot about sales, a lot about everything in life comes down to emotions. It's supply and demand. Even if the supply isn't being affected, if they believe the supply is being affected, it's good. It's going to work. Because that's why you get these fake sales all the time where it's like, you got to do it because after 12 o'clock tonight, it goes up. Like they're trying to pressure. It might go up. But fundamentally, they don't care if it goes up or down. They're trying to force a pressure to make you make a decision because you're worried about if you don't do it now, then you lose out. And a lot of selling is that. It looks legit. Yeah, it's legit. It's legit. Night sweats because of stress or just the weather. It's because of stress, H, because just so you understand what my night sweats are, because I don't know if anyone can relate to this. If you're sweating from heat, you're just sweating. With night sweats, I could go to sleep at like 12 o'clock and then I could wake up at 12:05, like I've just been dunked in a swimming pool, like soaked. It doesn't happen too much, except when business is crazy. Like business does get crazy. And I think like you have people who try to like shun responsibility, like, oh yeah, but you don't know how, like, you look after 50 people, you look after tens of £1,000,000, knowing that if it falls, 50 people can't get paid, 50 people can't eat, 50 people can't look after their family. That's a lot to have on your shoulders, guys. When there's arguments, when you're worried about the future, like life's good right now and I'm not stressed. And because when I have a good day, when business is making money, I try to really savor that because I know how stressful the opposite is. I don't sit there like thinking about other stuff. I try to just shut my eyes, let the sun be on my face and say, yo, all of the stress I go through is just for moments of peace. So enjoy it. But anyway, yeah, major things. So the fundamentals, obviously, like we're saying, going back to the business, you always need to understand your profit. I would recommend any person, if you're starting a business, we're going to write up on the board. Any person, this is the key. This is the key, and sanity and business, everything will work if you can master this, because this is the major thing in business. No surprises. Know the exact profit of everything that goes out the door. So you work out daily cost. That includes how much you're paying yourself, how much your rent is, any cost that you have that day. Let's say you're starting out and in your bedroom and your only cost is your internet fee and I don't know. You need to work out how much you need each day. Let's say it's £5. How are you going to sell to make the £5? You haven't got to sell something that's a fiver. You have to make £5. So target yourself to generate profit versus sales. Because if you target yourself to make sales, you can literally run yourself into financial turmoil. I did it and I thought I knew the most. And then when that happened to me, it was extremely humbling. I felt stupid, but you know what is the thing that I needed, because like everything's formulative and it's great. I am actually starting a business, taking notes. That's great, Anas. And I will give you a piece of advice, Anas, on that. Is don't just talk about it, just get it done. Never think, it's a bit like anything in life. You're going to give yourself reasons to why it's not right. Or wait here for kids, or I'm going to do this for my business. Listen, there's no good time to start it. There's always other stuff going on. And the quicker you start, the quicker you're going to learn, and the quicker you're going to start getting ahead. Every single person that I see that starts a business, after about 3 years, it's pretty impressive what's going on there. So every month that you wait and don't get it done is another month that you're going to have to wait until you can be where you want to be. Big respect for taking your job seriously. As Muslims, alhamdulillah, any struggle we go through, for God's sake, providing for our families will be rewarded by Allah. So alhamdulillah. Yeah, alhamdulillah. And I've seen that myself, that as long as you stress, like I said to you guys in yesterday's stream, if you didn't watch it, go back and check it out. Every single time that things have been the bleakest, they've been preceded always by the best times. And the best times haven't been long. It's not like I've been in the pits in 2020 and then you get out the pits in 2024. It's like you're in the pits for like a month or two and then it's an extreme lift out of the pits. I've seen it every single time. Even like when I became a millionaire, like I told you in yesterday's stream, when I became a millionaire, my first time that I had this crazy win, I was $100,000 in debt to my supplier in March of 2012. And then in December of 2012, I made £100,000 net pounds, because my business deals in pounds in the UK, but we buy in dollars. I owed him $100,000 in the March, literally considering killing myself. And that's an absolute sin. No one ever do that, because things always work themselves out. But at that point, I wasn't religious or hopeful. And I believed that that was the be all and end all. And I'm just a dumb businessman. And my whole life had been built. And all I wanted to be was a businessman. From the day I was able to understand what my dad did, I just wanted to be a businessman. But luckily, it'll work out for everyone. It's easy. But yeah, you learn lessons. So those tough things that form you, they're mad. They're really mad. Profit makes things worse. Yeah, you know what? One of the most stressful things can be, Ayub, is when you're making a lot of money and it goes down. But yeah, like March, $100,000 in debt, and then don't quit. I think about doing dark things, but what I actually said to myself, and absolutely no one do this, obviously, is it would have been crazy, because this is a small temporary blip and this is just one test. But at that point, I was like, oh, my business is failing. I owe him 100 grand and I just wanted the world to eat me up. And I said to myself, right, if it doesn't work, then fine, that'll be my answer. But luckily, we started to climb out of a hole. I negotiated a few things. And then guess what? 6 months later, £100,000 net. If that one lesson isn't enough to teach you that you should never quit, then I even have used that one lesson to myself. Like when I have hard times here, we got a slow month. I know that if you stare the demon in the eye and you keep pushing forward, it will work. So yeah, but the problem is when you're 18, when you're 19, you don't know. So I'm here to tell you, you know. So yeah, and that works for everything, guys. You could be coming out of a marriage, a relationship, whatever it is, and you think like you're sad. It'll be all right. You need, and life experience teaches you that. That's what wisdom is. Wisdom is knowing that seas will always calm and the sun will always come back up. But for you young guys, it can be difficult. Facts, Ayub. That is facts. Just keep running. You cannot quit. If you don't quit, it doesn't matter if you become homeless and you have no money and you're now begging for cents. You could be crazy rich. Just do not quit. The minute you quit and submit, well, it's never going to happen then, is it? H chapter 2, verse 286 reads, Allah does not charge a soul except with that within its capacity. Yeah, 100%. Milena, hi, James. I hope you're doing great. Yeah, I hope you're doing great, Milena, too. Suleiman Hassan, may Allah reward you for the gems, brother. Thank you very much. Milena, that's right. Some will always come back up. 100%. Some will always come back up. And that's the main thing. Like, I think that, yeah. But obviously, the trick of life is to make you think that it won't come back up. And that's how life gets you to quit. And that's why it's so hard to get the things that we want. But if you understand that, you understand that actually those things are what God puts in your way to make you be able to be the person who would be able to deal with those things. So you want a business with 100 people. Well, how are you going to look after it if you haven't had the experience and the trials and tribulations to be able to deal with it? If I just got flung into my position now and I was dealing with 50 people without any of the trials and tribulations, without any of the craziness that's happened to me, I'd be like paper mache. I'd probably be stressed. I don't stress about it all because I've gone through it all time and time again. And yeah, recently, the levels of my stress have been the highest, but that's life. You shouldn't be looking at things like, oh, I'm so stressed. This is the most stressed I've ever been. Yes, it's the most stressed you've ever been. It should be the most stressed you've ever been because our job as people in this world is to become the best we can be. And if you can be the best you can be, you should always be stretching to the levels of your capacity. If you're not stretching to the levels of your capacity, then you're not even reaching your potential. Right, guys, get these likes up in the chat. Make sure you like this. And thanks a lot for all the comments. Make sure everyone subscribes to the channel. These are daily lives talking about business. But yeah, guys, when you look at the physics of success, it almost is a prerequisite to have trials and tribulations. Because let's say you come out of school, let's say you were lucky enough to not even get bullied and you just get a load of A stars at your school and life is just easy, easy, easy. You don't have any problems at all. And I want to start a business with 1,000 people and you start it, one employee, goes well, more money, more money, more money, no tribulations, and you have everything you want. Could you imagine what kind of wet weasel, not worth knowing you would be? Like you wouldn't have anything about you. You'd have no soul. You'd have no grit. So if you want to be stood on the top of Everest, God is going to make it feel like you're going to die getting there. Because the only way that you'll be able to survive once you're at the top is if you went through it. So he can't not give it to you. Does that make sense? What's my idea about usury? My idea about usury is you shouldn't pay any interest. I don't pay any interest, obviously. I feel like people starting out, oh yeah, please, I would love a coffee, thank you. I feel like people starting out in many ways, like it's a sin, I'm not advocating for it, but the thing is, I think that it's almost impossible to deal with. Like I was lucky, I wasn't a Muslim when I started my business, but I couldn't have got away with starting a business without usury. I paid interest on all my loans. So the world is rigged, and we're in the West, and it's an interest system. It's interest everywhere. Success is not rational. I remember that from yesterday's live, a quote from James Lake himself. Thank you very much, H. I appreciate it. That's nice. And thank you very much, Princess, for the coffee. I appreciate it. Yeah, so very interesting. Very interesting. And we're going to get into selling now as well. I think that a lot of where people go wrong with selling is there's two elements. Because if you're talking about like a forthright closing way, there's a lot of people with false confidence. Like the most important thing in sales that you need to be able to do that a lot of people can do is ask for the sale. So by the end of it, I've gone through this pitch and we've been talking about this pen. And I've said like, so what are you looking for in a pen? You're looking for something that do you normally rub your stuff out? Do you normally want something that's permanent? You say, well, I want something that's permanent. And I say, actually, cool, I've got this for you. Why don't you try this out for size, right? How does that feel? This kind of thing is going to last a long time. I got the warranty for you, blah, 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 blah. By the end of it, a lot of people just sit there and they don't say, so, right, would you like to go for that one then? And do you know what? Like, energy is either dominant or submissive. So in sales, a lot of people, if you just go, so, do you want to go for that one then? If you have the balls to do that, so do you want to go for that one then? People don't want to say no. A lot of people don't want to say no. And of course, there are people that want to say no. But you must be shocked, and I'm telling you, shocked at the difference in the close rate of just those two people. And that's not even high level sales. That's like base minimum. I remember when I was 16, people would come back and they're like, do you ask for the order? And I was like, ask for the order? I'm going to ask for the order. That's a lot in it. Like, do you want it? Of course. I'm like, so you're going to go for that one then? I would even, I mean, I'm so with it now. I'd be like, and I'm so confident in everything I sell. Like, so you're going to go for that one? Yeah. But I'm not saying it from some manipulative thing. I'm saying it because I genuinely believe they should be going for it. And I think that that's a good thing. Right. What we got here? Hey, cycle economics is a miss right now. I actually don't know what cycle economic is. Oh, do you mean like the way that, yeah, it is. It is. I mean, we've seen everything crash recently, which is crazy. DZMO, Wakeham Salam. I hope business is going well for you too. Right, 15 people in here. Let's bring these likes up. So yeah, I mean, first gem from selling is people need to ask for the sale. So many people don't like saying no. Like, saying no is hard. We don't want conflict. So if you imagine that you being forward and saying, do you want to go for it? Yeah, is putting a forced situation where someone is going to have to go against it. And a lot of people don't want to do that. So like, what's your business increase just from doing that? And the problem is, unless you do it, someone else is going to do it, and you're going to lose out to the person who's more confident than you. And the thing is, things like that can be scary because you've got to build your confidence, but you start doing it, and it's surprising how much easier it gets. Oh, thank you very much.
No worries.
This is from the new machine?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
beautiful. Have we still got the instant stuff?
Yeah, we've got instant.
Yeah, we've got internet. All right, cool. Thank you very much. Changing orders, internal constitution. Well, hello, I'm new here. Nice one, the notorious one. I hope you're good, brother. And yeah, guys, make sure people in the chat here subscribe to the channel. These are daily lives where I talk about business. And like you guys know, I have a business here with 50 people, 42 people in the UK, and we do about 12 million pound in the UK. And we do about £2.5 million a year here in Europe. And yeah, I'm taking you guys on a journey. I've been running business now for 15 years. I know there's a lot of fakers out on the internet, and I want to give you my advice. I think I have crazy wisdom for a guy my age. I seriously do. I learned how to say no since I've been working from the age of 12 age. That's fantastic. That's a powerful tool. Everyone needs to learn that. And because that is the way that you stop a crafty salesman who's trying to put pressure on you. So yeah, nice one. Which kind of business? I'm in tech, bro. 100%, Belena. The most important thing in life is your energy. If you are endlessly positive and you work hard, everything will work out. I see a fundamental difference between the people who are positive and negative. People who are positive, either poor or rich, they don't have the life. No, sorry, either poor or rich, they all have good lives. And the people who are negative, I wouldn't want their life. Even the rich ones, they're depressed, they're sad. Everything's perspective. I think that we want to think that we're so unique in our problems and we're so unique in like our trials and tribulations, when the fact of the matter is we have like most of our days are hard and they're lessons and they're tests, and we have 1 or 2 good days a month, and you really have to cherish the 1 or 2 good days a month, and you have to see the beauty and the poetry of the tough days. Milena, it's important for our energy to be positive and to maintain a mindset of abundance. Yeah. Like, back when I first started my business, like I said to you guys, there was people who were earning like 40,000 a year near me when I was like 19, and that's crazy money. And I was like, whoa, they're out earning me like, and I was only paying myself like £200 a week. But I didn't care because I had an abundant mindset. I knew I was going to become a millionaire. And then like 2 years later, like clockwork, I kept saying, I'm going to make $1 million. I'm going to make $1 million. I kept looking at the article of this guy that said first to save. And it was an article, the first eBay millionaire. And I kept looking at that. I'm going to beat him. I'm going to beat him. I'm going to beat him. And then after 3 years, I beat him. And he doesn't even know who I am. So like I made him like my competition in my head because that like power of positivity and abundance. And then guess what happened? I made 1 million and I beat him. And then I didn't have any goal after that and I couldn't beat. There was nowhere to go. And then it took me 3 years to recalibrate and find someone else. And that someone else, we set them in our targets. And then 3 years later, bang. And now we have crazy targets. Now the targets we have are like, wait, because what I realize is without like some fixed goal where you keep saying the words, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. If you have a fixed goal and you're hell bent on doing it, in the end, the words you say and the number you say, it will happen. You might go down and out and get dragged up from the sewer. It will happen. Yeah, it's mad. Life's mad. H, even if I become homeless tomorrow, knowing I'm a Muslim, I have Allah with me, so I will get through this. Go ahead and try me life, lol. Yeah, exactly. And that's the mindset to have. Like, and then when you get back out of it, you're gonna be proud because of how you came back, the bounce back. Like, even though it's hard at the time, the hard times are your most beautiful memories because you get to look back on them with glee and think, man, I survived that. Anas, I wanted to ask you about the right way to form a business model that would be the core framework of how the whole business would go. We're talking about business, Nora. So yeah, it's basically a business diary. I have a business with about 50 people, and it's over UK and Holland, and we do £15 million a year. And I'm basically just doing a business diary of my trials and tribulations. I do it daily. So business model to as carry on as you want to go forward. Well, like online retail, all of those businesses, online retail, distribution, those are small models where let's say you get an order online, you print the order, then you send it out, but you can scale that up. That's a model that literally could work like Amazon does now with millions of orders daily. So yeah. And then, I mean, if it's just a phone and you're phoning up to try and make sales, again, you add more phones, you add more people. Pretty much all those models can be scaled up. You just need to make sure that when you bring on employees, you make sure that it's done in such a way that you're professional. Because really, I don't think it's the model that you build; it's the culture. If you have a bad culture to start with, it's going to be hard to undo that. So you need to make sure that you're secure within yourself. You're the best version of yourself because your personality and the morals that you have are going to echo and build the business out. So like take, for example, when I worked at a business back when I was 19, between when my bathroom shop went bust and I started this, I had to take a job and I had to do this in the evenings. So when I was doing this in the evenings, I worked at a shop called Porcelanosa. And Porcelanosa is a tile shop. And this isn't me slandering them. This is just what happened. Is there were some clicks, and it felt like maybe you weren't accepted by the groups within the company. And the same thing happened at Dreams a little bit too. And because of that, where I made a company, I will not have clicks. I would, because I know how horrible it is feeling that you're not accepted. It's like playground stuff. So all in the little things that made me feel like an outsider and not accepted into the cultures of my old works, I eradicated that. And I made sure that we're super, super friendly, like a family culture. If anyone's divisive, I don't want them in the business. And yeah. So yeah, you learn lessons. Culture is major. Have I visited France before? Yeah, I was actually in Annecy last month. Um, Ayub, that's absolutely right. The confidence and the courage is all about, yeah, definitely, definitely. Anas, thank you so much. Yeah, you're welcome. So, guys, I'll probably kill the stream now. It's been a good stream, and I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. I'm actually, guys. So, as you know, I obviously work here in Holland and I work in the UK. And since I've been doing these streams for the last 2 weeks, I've been here in Holland the whole time. But tomorrow, I drive 500 miles back to my UK office. And yeah, I will be doing the stream from there. And look, we're just having our air conditioning fixed. And yeah, so I will be streaming from the UK. And that's actually going to be really, really cool for you to see because my UK business is big. Like it's a big warehouse. Like we have tons and tons of product, and we have a near on literal army of people. So it's going to be good to show you guys. But anyway, Thanks to everyone who's been tuning in, watching the live. And make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure that you all like the video, not just the hearts. Go up and do the thumbs up, like the actual likes, because it really, really helps the algorithms, and it helps us get views and build the channel. And I'm going to keep making these, keep being your morning go-to business show. You're going to be on me with the journey as we build the business. Yeah, and I'm going to update you. I'm not going to update you on how the business is going every single day, because it's going to be changing content depending on what we do. But yeah, nice one, guys. I hope everyone has a beautiful day. I hope all my Muslim brothers and sisters have a beautiful day as well, inshallah. And yeah, I will see you tomorrow morning. Take care, Milena. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.